It's Thousand Trails Week. We are going to tell you everything. Is it free? Cheap? Did it save us any money? Do the parks suck? Are they awesome? Is it worth it? We will tell you all of that. At least our opinion. For us. Do your own thing. But we'll tell you what we think. We want to be clear, though. We are not sales pitching Thousand Trails. So, it's... What?
I'm a burp.
Oh my God.
I do. Don't say so.
We don't.
Okay, go. In this video, we're going to tell you what we purchased and why. Has it saved us any money? And would we do it again? Is it worth it?
So we stopped. No.
So.
It's so hard. You want to say so. Every sentence we want to say so. Our first 3 months in Texas, that was going to be like our test run. But we had heard so many good things about Thousand Trails, how much money it saved people. Mm-hmm. We're not millionaires, so we wanted to test it out. So we started with the Zone Pass.
The Zone Pass cost us $480, and it only covered the southeastern region of the United States. I'm not sure how many regions there are. There may be 5 or so, but basically it's just, the regions of the United States, and we bought the southeastern region because that's where we were going to be. We headed to Texas, which are where some of the parks that people complain about the most. Potholes, nothing to do, a dried up lake. We got there, we experienced some of the parks, and we thought, okay, this is awesome. We're staying for free. We want the membership. Some people don't realize that there's a difference in the Zone Passes and the membership. A Zone Pass is a Zone Pass. You can buy it, you have to renew it every year. You can buy a Zone Pass to each zone, or you can add on extra zones. And I don't remember the cost off the top of my head right now, but we'll add it to the screen. But we decided that we would just be better off with the entire membership, and we'll explain why.
Part of why we chose to get the membership instead of just sticking with the Zone Pass was primarily 2 major things. There are a lot of little things, but one, Zone Pass, you go 2 weeks in a Thousand Trails park, then you have to stay 1 week out of Thousand Trails system, which can be expensive if you're trying to save money. With the membership, you can go park to park. So that was appealing to us. The other big factor was the booking windows. So with the Zone Pass, you can do 90 days out. So you can book today a park that's going to be 90 days out from today. With the membership, that can go all the way up to 210. There's 180, 120. And when you first start, that may not seem like a big deal, but these parks book quickly. Especially Thousand Trails. There's so many people, they're trying to get in there. So having those extra days that you can book out in advance makes your planning a lot easier. Makes you get future, parks easier because you already kind of have everything mapped out. So it's an incredible benefit beyond just the money. That's a real big benefit.
All right, so let's start with what we actually purchased. We bought an Elite Basic membership. It cost us $4,475. We purchased it in November of last year, but we didn't receive the membership until January of this year. The membership that we bought has a 120-day booking window. We went back and forth on whether or not we wanted the 120 days or the 180 days. We knew that we did not want to pay for the 210-day because it was like 10 grand, I think. That's the adventure. And we didn't think that we would get our return on investment for that. But we went with the 120. We hoped that it would be enough to be able to get the reservations that we wanted. And so far, we've had pretty good luck. And then obviously, like we said, with our membership, we can go park to park. So there are 3 different options to buying a membership. First, you can buy new through Thousand Trails. We decided early on that we weren't going to do that because of the price mainly. It's a lot more expensive. I think the membership that we bought runs around $7,000 or $8,000 new. We purchased for $4,475. If you do buy new, you can resell the membership when you're finished using it. We don't know what the resale market is going to be like when we are ready to sell. It may be good, but we decided that we were going to save the money up front than worrying about recouping our costs later. If you buy used and you cannot resell, you can cancel it with Thousand Trails before your annual dues are due the next year. So whenever we're done using it, that's what we'll do. There are 2 options for buying used. First, you can buy through a brokerage, or you can buy private through an individual. If you buy from an individual, you have to do the legwork. You have to make sure of what you're getting. You have to make sure that you're not being scammed, and that's all on you. And now the reason why it can be so stressful is because this place has been around for a long time. There are a lot of memberships. There are memberships that people are selling from years and years and years ago that are not the newer memberships, that have totally different rules, that have different parks in them. So you have to do a lot of research. You have to really, decide to research this full blast. Once I started researching and telling Clint some of this stuff, he said, no, I know that through an individual will save us money, but let's just go through the brokerage so that we don't have to deal with any of that. Clint felt more comfortable with it, honestly. I was relieved a little bit about the stress of, dealing with an individual. Now, we'd heard good things about the brokerage that we use, Campground Membership Outlet, but we had some issues. After we paid, we had a really hard time with communication and getting responses, and it took a long time. At the time, we purchased in November, and we didn't receive our membership until January. And according to Thousand Trails, that had nothing to do with them. They didn't receive it until like a week before we got our membership. You can take that with a grain of salt, but that was our experience. Honestly, if we could go back and redo it, we probably would buy through an individual. Now, if you do buy through an individual, you need to contact Thousand Trails directly and make sure that what the seller says you're getting is what you're getting. You need to make sure that, you're paying. Probably my suggestion would be through PayPal Goods and Services, so that if you have any issues, you can, try to get your money back through PayPal. But like I said, there are a ton of facets to it. You have to research it. There are a lot of Facebook groups that you can look for memberships through, and I would suggest that you start there.
So has it saved us any money? I think that's what everybody wants to know. And not yet, but it's going to.
We have right now through the end of August planned out. So from February, when we started using the membership, until August, so that's 7 months.
Based on all the reservations we already have made for those 7 months from February until August, we are going to be staying 68 nights at non-Thousand Trails parks. And that's going to cost us $3,991, which comes out to about $59 a night. For Thousand Trails parks, we'll be staying 144 nights for $5,394.
The $5,394 includes the cost of the membership, $4,475, plus our annual dues for this year, $549, and we've added on something else, which we won't be talking too much about here. It's called Trails Collection. It's an addition that you pay every year to get some extra parts in Thousand Trails. So we're not going to go into too much detail there. We could do a whole nother video on that. But all of that is $5,394 that we're going to use for this time period that we're talking about.
So if you take into account the $5,394 over the 144 nights, that comes out to basically $37 a night when we stay at Thousand Trails. So when we stay at Thousand Trails, we're saving on average $22 a night. So if we didn't have Thousand Trails and we had to spend those 144 nights in other RV parks, it would have cost us an extra $3,168. So to us, that's what's building up to offset the cost of the membership. And based on the way we're figuring it, where we're planning on staying once the booking windows open up, we should have the membership paid off within 10 months.
Yeah. So basically, another way to look at it is, in the 7 months, we will save $3,168 by saving $22 per night. That divided by 7 months is about $450. We paid about $4,500 for our membership. So in about 10 months, just 3 more months past what we have planned, we should have our membership paid for. And another thing, the membership fee is not a yearly thing. That's a one-time thing. We bought the membership. So that $4,475 does not have to be paid again. Next year, all we have to pay are our member dues, our annual dues of $550. If we want to add on the Trails Collection, which was $370 this year, we can. Both of those, around $900, $1,000. So next year, potentially, we could pay about $70, $80 a month for our Thousand Trails membership.
If you don't want to think of it monthly, if we're saving $5,000 in 10 months, every year after this, we're not going to need to save $5,000 to offset the cost. Only $1,000. So years going forward, the other $4,000 is basically money that would have come out of our pocket if we didn't have it. That will now be able to be used for other things, like to pay off our grocery budget, which is about $4,000 a year. So it's going to be perfect.
No, $4,000 a month.
Yeah. So that's the way we think of it. It's kind of a long-term saving. So this year, we're probably just going to break even and come out a little ahead at the end. But every year going forward, it's going to be pretty big savings for our family.
When we were considering whether or not we wanted to purchase the membership, we had to decide, was it going to be worth it for us? And what we decided was that if we use it often and we use it for at least a year, that it would work out financially for our family. So what have we learned along the way? Do we still think that this was a worthwhile purchase? Number one, you have to research the parks that you're going to stay at. For us, first thing is always, can we fit? We have a very large rig. It's 42 feet. Some parks cannot fit our rig. So that's number one. That's where I start. Number two, do they have cell reception? We have to have cell reception. Like I've said, Clint works remote, so we have to have cell reception in order to stay there. And then other than that, I just read general reviews. Where I check is RV Life Campground Reviews, which is through our RV Life Pro membership. We will link that. We are affiliates. We absolutely love our RV Life Pro membership. We use it probably several times a week. I do all of my planning on it. We do all of our travel with it, like we use it as a GPS, and that's how we get everywhere when this thing is connected to our truck. And we do a lot of our researching for campgrounds on it. That's where I get a lot of this information. I'm also in several Facebook groups that share reviews on Thousand Trails parks, so I get some of my information from there. We're going to start a series soon sharing our own park reviews too, so you can check those out.
Also, when you're researching these parks, make sure you're thinking of your family. What you like, what y'all enjoy, what you want around you. Because when we were researching, a lot of people hate Medina Lake. We loved it. It's one of the favorite parks. Kids still talk about it. So what is it that y'all like to do? Do you want to be closer to nature, closer to a city? And then see what the reviews say about that.
Yeah.
Don't just, if they're all negative, cancel the park. Or if they're all positive, think you're going to love it.
Yeah.
One of the things that we see a lot is that some of these parks, they're not super fancy. And so people will say, well, you've got to lower your expectations. You're staying super cheap at all these places. And people get really frustrated because you've paid all this money. So why should you lower your expectations? The way we look at it is that Thousand Trails is not about getting a great membership to all of these amazing parks. It's about being able to save money on your nightly rates. If we paid these kind of rates in normal parks that weren't Thousand Trails, you would be staying in some dumpster fires a lot of nights.
Yeah, if you remember the $12.50 place that we stayed at in Louisiana at the truck stop.
So the way we look at it, it's not about the parks themselves, it's about the savings we get on nightly rates.
But then we do our research, like we said. So no, we're not staying in the worst parks that Thousand Trails has to offer. Yeah, we've skipped a couple of those. And, we will continue to research, and we're going to get, in our opinion, the best of the best by doing our own due diligence and researching, and we feel like we're getting our money's worth.
Is it worth it? Yes. For us, it is worth it. We are absolutely going to save money. We will save money this year, but we will save way more money in any years to come until we cancel the membership. Mm-hmm. So for us, it makes perfect sense. But again, like we said, we very strategically decided how long it's going to take for us to recoup all the money, how long do we plan on doing this, and then how often are we realistically going to be able to stay at Thousand Trails Parks. So do your research for your family and make sure that it makes sense for you. If you're going to be someone who's only going out on the weekends, maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe if you live in an area or you're going to camp primarily in areas where there are no Thousand Trails Park, again, it may not make sense. But for us, it's going to save us money. Anytime we're staying in places where it doesn't save us money, it will be offset by the seasons when we stay in places with lots of them. So for us, it makes sense. But do your own research and decide for yourself.
One more thing I want to add. We're not trying to be all rainbows and butterflies about Thousand Trails. Yes, they do have issues. Medina Lake, there was no lake. You know, which was not Medina Lake's fault. It's an issue with water and drought, and they were fixing something, and so they've drained the lake. But anyways, you know, there are potholes. Yeah, there are a lot of potholes. Some of the parks are missing amenities. Some of the amenities don't work. You know, some of the parks you have to pay to receive packages. We're not saying that Thousand Trails is the best thing there ever is. But we're saying that in our situation, in our lifestyle, with our budget, Thousand Trails works really well for our family.
Also, I can sense some of y'all saying, "Oh, it's $5,000. They're saving $5,000, but are they really?" That's based on real numbers, not fluff numbers, not predictions. That's based on actual rates that we've saved. So, $22 a night, not a guess.
No.
That is for real what it is. So just take that for what it is.
And in saying those are real numbers, we do try to stay pretty cheap.
So that $59 average is not based on Margaritaville and Pigeon Forge and all those big campsites that cost hundreds of dollars.
We pepper in a few. Here.
So it's $59 average for frugal people.
Yeah.
That's what we're getting at.
Except on our grocery budget, but.
Well, I mean, we gotta eat.
Good.
Actually, we looked it up, the grocery budget. Not that bad.
Yeah.
It's about what we should be spending for a family our size,
Yeah.
according to the government.
If you look up USDA, like grocery budget something, okay, grocery cost or food cost, you can Google this sheet that tells you how much you're supposed to spend per person. For a low cost food plan, our family should be spending $1,200 a month. So that's what we're spending.
Not bad. We're killing it, actually. We thought we were being bad. We were actually dominating the grocery budget.
We would love for grocery costs to go down, though.
Yeah. We want to be clear, though. We are not sales pitching Thousand Trails. We like it. It works for us. If you don't like it, or it's not going to work for you, then don't do it. No big deal. But if you are interested, if you have questions, if you want to know something specific about our experience so far, leave them in the comments. We'd love to interact. We'll answer any questions that we can. But just know, not a sales pitch. No. Not sponsored. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Just
we
our
are
experience.
leaving our affiliate link in the description for RV Life Pro because we absolutely do want you to buy that if you're interested. But we have no affiliate link for Thousand Trails.
Yeah. So
we're not making money.
RV Life Pro is amazing. Yes. Regardless, even if we weren't affiliated.
No. Yeah.
We
were pushing it before we got affiliated.
The GPS is phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. We've had no issues at all.
And our Google Maps are broken. Are your Google Maps broken? Comment. Do they send you... We go to the same place. It'll send us 4 different ways, 4 different times. I don't know what's happening.
No. It's just Clint's. Mine works fine. But we use his primarily because I'm on mine doing other stuff.
I have no idea what's happening.
So let's end this video before we stop rambling. We'll see you guys next week.
We will see you guys next week.